what are the types of mandatory or obligatory fasting? How many categories are they? And what are the types of mandatory fasting if it's different than if we have more than the month of Ramadan? The question is that we have first two categories. We have category one, which is what has been obligated by Allah, and that is only the fasting of the month of Ramadan. The scholars, as Ibn Abdul Barr rahimahullah has said, the scholars have all agreed that what Allah obligated upon us, meaning to fast, is the month of Ramadan, nothing else. Allah has not obligated upon us a fasting except the fasting of the month of Ramadan. That's category one. What we call, it is required upon everyone who meets the conditions to fast it. Second category, what becomes obligatory upon the person due to the person, due to his actions, his deeds. Example, there are usually three. Vows, sah, oh Allah, if I pass my exam, I'm going to fast 3 days. If I get married, I'm going to fast a month. Sah? If she says yes. Or, so this is the vow. Or, kafara, sah, an expiation. We're going to give examples of expiation. Or making up days in which he missed or she missed from Ramadan. These, the scholars call them fasting that the person has indeed obligated upon himself. All right, he put the vow upon himself. He did something in which requires now what? Expiation. He missed days from Ramadan due to traveling or sickness, in which he has to make up after Ramadan. These are the categories. The types, in general, as al-Baghdadi rahimahullah ta'ala said, that the scholars have agreed that indeed the obligatory fasting are 4 types. Fasting of the month of Ramadan, fasting the days one missed in Ramadan, fasting kafara, an expiation, and fasting of the vows. Those, nadr. Okay? Nadr. These are now what? 4. A bit of more details. Fasting of Ramadan and making up the days, if any. That's 1. Also, the expiation of he who goes to his wife during the day of Ramadan. So he's fasting and then he ends up sleeping with his wife. Now he has a kafara, expiation upon him. He set that upon himself, yes? And then we have the fasting of the nadr, the vow. Someone makes a vow, all right? The fasting of the expiation of a nadr. The fasting of an expiation of he who tells his wife, you are indeed forbidden to me like my mother. And then he changes his mind, meaning he wants to bring her back. If he cannot do what first? Free a slave. If he can free a slave, then he has to fast what? 2 consecutive. And the fasting of the kafarat, I mean someone swears he would not do such a thing and then he ends up doesn't. If he does not what? Do the first 3 options. Only if he doesn't do the first 3 options. What are the first 3 options? Which is all in one option because he can choose between them. Someone says, Wallahi, I will never go to the house of so-and-so. He says, for example, Wallahi, I will never go to my brother's house. This is it. Sah? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides him. This is not the right way. So now he has to what? Pay kafara for that. So what are his options? You either feed 10 people, sah, from the average of what you eat, or clothe 10 people, or free a slave. If you can't do any of the 3, all right? And these 3 don't have to be picked on order. I mean, you can free a slave, or you can clothe 10 people, or you can feed 10 people. All right, so if you can't do any of these 3, then you fast 3 days. This is ikhwan kafarat al-yamin, which is the person obligates upon himself, also as form of fasting. Also, what else, ikhwan? The person who indeed does game or hunts while he's upon ihram, or he's indeed in a sacred area, or he who is indeed becomes obligated to fast 3 days in Hajj and 7 days when he returns to his family for doing tamattu' and does not find or do al-hadi. And also, ikhwan, fasting of expiation for he who commits something he's not supposed to commit while he's in ihram. Also, fasting upon he who abandons an obligatory act in Hajj or Umrah and was not able to perform hadi. So he fasts 10 days. And then the last one is also he who kills someone unintentionally. Sah? Unintentionally. He, hits someone with a car. He accidentally kills someone there are two things, which is the blood money, and also he still has number two, which the scholars indeed have gathered upon, to free a slave, and if he cannot, to fast two consecutive months. And if he, wal-'iyadhu billah, ends up killing, let's say, accidentally 2 people, لو قتل 2 أو 3 كم شهر عليه؟ هل كله شهرين؟ كل واحد شهرين متتابعين. وهل يجب أن يصوم 6 أشهر لو كانوا 3 6 أشهر متتابعات؟ لا، ولكن لكل واحد. بارك الله فيكم ونسأل الله لنا ولكم العافية. If someone, والعياذ بالله, accidentally kills, let's say, 2-3 people, 2 months for each one. 2 months for each one. 2 consecutive months for each one. Does he have to fast, let's say 3 people, does he have to fast 6 consecutive months? No, but it has to be 2 consecutive for one, 2 consecutive for another, and may Allah Azza wa Jal protect us from that.